On today's episode, we have Sean Manning in the building from Realty Connect USA. He's only been in the business for 4 months. He's already done over $15 million in sales volume. He's got a team of 10 agents. 4 months in and a $1.3 million listing. He sold it in 5 hours. He came with gifts, t-shirts, a $500 St. Jude's check for November 13th at NASSAU COLISEUM. We hope to see you guys all there, and subscribe.
Like, comment, subscribe, turn on all notifications, and enjoy the episode.
Welcome back to the newest episode of the Real Estate and Chill podcast. I'm your host, James Shattery from Cliffco Mortgage, straight out of the dentist, here with
Kevin Iglesias, associate broker. Today, as always, is $1 million episode. We're bringing you a lot of value, a lot of inspiration here. We got Sean Manning in the building from Realty Connect USA. He's only been in the business for 4 months, and he's crushing it. I've had the honor to be with him on the panel at our second quarterly meeting. Sean, introduce yourself, please.
Thank you for having me. More importantly than anything, I'm Sean Manning. I'm with Realty Connect, a realtor. I've got my license in March, and just pretty happy to be here. I started my own little team, and things have been booming, to say the least. And just to be sitting here is pretty cool. I was definitely, slid in a few DMs early on, asking about shows and stuff, and probably got sent to like the junk inbox when it's like somebody's trying to sell you Bitcoin. But finally now Kevin is cool enough to let me come on the show, and I'm just happy to be here. Yeah. After 75 requests, he asked me this time, so I'm happy. Yeah. Very happy to be here.
It's amazing what you're doing, man. It's like this business is not easy.
No, not at all.
Touch base a little bit, like your background.
So I'm 38. I'm married with 3 kids. I became a New York City police officer back in 2006, and worked in Manhattan for just about 6 years. And then in 2011, I left the New York City Police Department, and now I'm currently a detective with the Suffolk County Police Department. So I'm in my 17th year now. So Getting closer to the end, but I'm very lucky and fortunate, and there's no heavy commute, and just a really awesome job. So that's given me the not to sound cheesy, but that's given me everything that I have. So that's the majority of I think my success is learning how to be personable and deal with the public and treat people the right way, and it reciprocates. So, but yeah, I grew up in Belport. I went to college, played some sports in college, and had really no direction. And I did want to be a cop, but I remember my father waking me up telling me that you're taking your sister, she's also a police officer, to take the police test. And I was like, oh, man. I drove to some high school in Brooklyn and got like 3 tickets on my car while I was there, and almost a boot. And I'm like, this is wild. And then I got hired, and the rest is history. And then I got that unbelievable phone call, letter in the mail saying you scored good on the Suffolk police test. I remember holding it up to like the sun, looking at the grade, and I was like, wow, this is like crazy. And now, very, very grateful. Work with awesome people, awesome, just a truly great place to be. And starting this real estate business it's been eye-opening, because it's not easy.
It's not.
Don't get it twisted. It's not easy at all.
Before we dive into the real estate side, maybe I shouldn't even speak. All right, but I'll ask this one question.
You get like the subtitles.
But getting a high score on that test is not easy.
No.
By any means. I have a lot of friends who want to be in the police.
Yeah.
They're taking tests, and it's like really hard to get a good score on it.
It is, yeah. You're gonna make fun. I took it once. And I'm not saying I got lucky, but the other tests that I took, I remember taking NASSAU's, I think. I took like the park police out here. Like, grateful for everything that I had when I was in the city, and like my first like really serious job, and all the clowns you meet in the circus. Like, you miss those guys, but the men and women, I should say. But when you start taking other tests and you want to come closer to home, closer to where you grew up, I wasn't doing very good. And then I did good on this test, and here we are.
The detective test?
No, not detective test, just to get into the police department, the civil service test. Some people, like, you hear, I feel like everybody's different. You hear people take them 100 times and they don't score good enough. Then you hear people who take them all and always get a high grade.
So for NYPD, you got to go to the city and take a test, like a written test?
Yeah, it's like a written test, like multiple choice, if I remember. Like you'll stare at like a couple of images, and then they'll like close the book, and you got to like go back. And this was years ago. I don't know how they do it now, but I'm assuming it's not too far off. It's all civil service tests. So you have to score good enough to even be considered, and then you go through a very lengthy investigation process.
So, little secret, when I was like 22, 23, one of my friends was thinking about going to the Marines.
Okay.
But he's like, you know what? Maybe I should be an NYPC, like, city cop.
Okay.
He's like, come take the test with me. And I wasn't doing anything.
You took it?
So I took it, and I passed.
Okay.
But then I was like, wait, you got to go to 4 years of college to be an NYPD cop? I was like, nah, I'm going to pass.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Back then, I don't recall, but I'm pretty sure back then when I took it like probably 04 maybe.
Okay, no,
and you didn't have to be you didn't have to have 4 years of college. It could have changed. I don't know.
Yeah, when I saw that, I was like, yeah, nah.
That's crazy.
That's wild.
You passed though.
I did pass.
Yeah, and here you are now doing
Yeah.
something totally different.
I cannot picture you being a cop, bro.
Totally
I cannot picture Kevin doing that.
My hair is too perfect to be a cop. Yeah.
I can't hide this with the hat. Come on.
No way.
But touch base on like what made you get started into real estate, because that's totally two different
different.
professions.
I'm gonna
You're
tell
over
you.
here beating up people, arresting them, and
No,
then you might want to search this guy right now.
Never ever happened. Never
No wonder he looks familiar.
That has never happened. Will never happen. No, we talked earlier not to say some stuff, and here we are. But no, but I think that it does relate, because I think that it relates for productivity, because you have a vast network of people who for years you're in some pretty different situations. Some nights are a breeze, and then there's other nights where you take your stuff off and you go home and you're like, holy shit, that was crazy. I could curse a little bit, right? Or not?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just show. Okay. We don't want to get arrested.
Yeah. So like there's situations like that where you grow up pretty quick, right? Like you grow up pretty quick. For me, I was 22-ish, 21, 22, and I remember walking around in Manhattan, and I'm like, this is wild. And I have all these cool toys, like, on my belt, and obviously, you know the ones that I'm talking about, and you're like, holy shit, like, this is real life. Like, I have a real job, and getting on the train, coming back, and no sleep, and that makes you grow up pretty quick. Like, I'm not saying other professions, there's plenty of professions that, you become a man really early in life, and I think what this did for me, I was pretty immature for a good part of most people, but that really kicked it into overdrive for me to become a man. So I think that made me who I am. This is not like a Tim Tebow press conference where I'm just like, I want to thank everybody. There's like the Patriots, I'm drawing a blank, the Patriots head coach. Wow.
Bill
Belichick. Every press conference is very, yeah, we did great. Like, I'm not going to sit here and do that, but I really do honestly think that job has helped me progress and be a problem solver that I spoke about at the panel. So, but what made me get into it is I did pretty good on buying and selling a few homes, and I have a really good friend who's a New York City detective who is a contractor and was doing some really cool stuff, and I would watch him, and he'd make these sick videos where, like that new one that you see on TikTok where you throw something and it sounds like you're in war, and then it drops, and then boom, the house looks
that's sick. I wanted to recreate that.
Yeah, it's like Call of Duty, I think.
I saw one guy like throw a grenade.
Yeah,
that's
he threw a pencil the other day. He's gonna kill me talking about this, but he like threw like a carpenter's pencil.
Yeah.
And the kitchen went from like gutted. I found this house for him, and I just sold it, and he like his work is impeccable. So like seeing that, I'm like, oh, what he's doing is pretty cool. Yeah. But I can't do that stuff. I hang stuff in my kids' rooms and like 9 holes. And finally, you get one that works. I finally bought a stud finder so I could stop putting holes in walls. So I got my license, and I think getting my license, I'm way over the top. Like everything I do, I have to do perfectly. So like it wasn't just gonna be let me wait for somebody to call me as opposed to. You know what I mean? I'm not going to wait around for that. So I had to be like I'm designing like T-shirts with no money. Like I'm paying you know what I mean? Like you have to build it, like destroy and rebuild. Build the brand. But so that's what made me get into it.
Now, being in the business for only 4 months still, and then just headlining the second quarterly meeting, that's huge.
Nuts.
Just being on that stage on the panel, that's huge.
It definitely is nuts. And when John called me, I was like, kind of blown away. You do a lot of cool stuff in my other job, and I try not to even reflect back anymore because this is about real estate. But, you know, I got Cop of the Year in 2018. Like, that's an awesome thing.
Yeah, that's
my
amazing.
family came. Like, you know, it was I'll never forget that. You know, my kids there, and that was awesome. My mom came, and my wife was, like, just super ecstatic. So you think about something like that, and then how awesome that is, and then you turn around and you get invited to something, with respect, normal for you. For me, it's not normal. So, like, I get that phone call, and it's like, wow, you want me to speak with Okar and Kevin? That's nutty. You know, so doing that was really cool, and that short time period has just been absolutely nuts. So I hope that it doesn't stop. It's going to stop a little bit, but it has to stop. But it's pretty nuts. Yeah.
I mean, being 4 months in, you got so much time. Like, this, you know, time is on your side.
Yeah.
This business, as long as you're consistent and the way you hustle,
yeah.
I mean, for 4 months in, that's insane. I mean, you got people who are struggling, can't even do the volume that you're doing right now. So right now, you've surpassed, what, 14 million?
Yeah, a little more. Yeah, right around there. Yeah.
Wow. 4 months in.
Yeah.
That's very impressive. We got to give you.
Thank you.
We got to.
This reminds me of something. It's like,
Yeah.
it's like, I feel like there's some people who just, whatever they touch, they'll do really well at, regardless of what they do. And it's just like, that kind of reminds me of you. Like, you just got into this 4 months ago, and you're just already killing it. And like, you did very well in your past profession. Like, it's a no-brainer, right?
I mean, I guess, yeah. I mean, I'm horrible at golf. My brother's a big golfer. There's a lot of things I suck at, but again, it sounds so cheesy, but it's really not. And I say this every time. It's not in front of you guys, in front of clients. You're a prototypical, like, you know, somebody to reflect back to. You just be normal. You be yourself. You're not fake.
Yeah.
We guys like me and you would get picked out pretty quick if we were fake. You know, like, this is me. This is how I am.
Yeah.
You know, you judge a book by its cover, and you're like, oh, all right, yeah, he's okay. He's fast talking. He might be a little bit of a bullshitter. But when people realize that there's a bullshit filter, but I'm not spewing it, they kind of, oh, okay. This is normal. This is how he is, and the energy has to be there, and you know. But the team is like the biggest thing. I can't be at 10 places at once. I have a full-time job that I bust my butt on, and you know, and I can't do that. So it's not a handicap, but it's definitely eye-opening how busy this stuff is. But I could not do it if I didn't do what I did with the team. There's no way. I would have had to scale back.
So 2 things I want to touch on is I was very happy that you were on the panel, because it goes to show that it doesn't matter how long you've been doing this, it matters how hard you hustle.
Oh yeah.
And you being there, just being 4 months in, was super impressive, because that's motivating for people who are not where they want to be, or are using excuses like, you know, I've been in the business for 2 years, 3 years, but they're not seeing those rewards. So I was happy that he was on, because it's like, look, this guy is hustling. He's making it happen out here. So anything's possible.
I appreciate it. I was hoping, I definitely, like, when I sat down and I said that absolutely nobody in this room knows who I am, that was 95% true. People were looking at me like, where this guy's from another company? What's this weird Amazon blazer he's wearing? Like, what's going on? But then I started to talk a little bit, and I saw the room looking a little like, oh, this guy's not stupid. he might be doing, you know, he's doing pretty good. So I think that is definitely true. Like, if you hustle, doesn't matter if it's 20 years, you could rejuvenate your career, or if you're brand new, you could do it. I had an agent who reached out to me who said that they were struggling just to make their Realty Connect fees. And I thought that was wild. And like, I'll tell you, I sitting on the couch with my wife talking about it, not on a personal level, not no names, nothing like that, but just like that phone call that I just took was wild. Like, I was looking for an assistant, and somebody reached out to me and said, well, I would like to do that. And I was like, no, you have your real estate license. Like, we could, you know, and that like changed everything. Like, this is a grown adult who is struggling, and not on a personal level, not on but in the real estate world. Like, could be super successful and happy. If you're a good mom, a good dad, like, that means more. What am I even saying this? It means more than anything. But when you are struggling in the profession that you take pride in, that hurts. So I think that was a big eye opener for me. Like, wow, like, this is real right now. You know, I'm doing okay. That moment.
Yeah.
You know?
No, definitely. And I always tell people this. Look, we all have the same 24 hours. It all depends on what you do with those 24 hours.
Absolutely.
Is what's going to equal to your success.
Yeah.
So
adding on to that, what do your 24 hours look like?
Oh, nuts.
Yeah.
Wayne Gretzky said, shoot or shoot. Like, it's nuts. Like, I'm up at like 6:30, I run to the gym just to not to fight the dad bod. Like as long as I could, feel comfortable at the beach, I'm good. I'm never gonna be more than that. I probably look the same for the last 10 years, but I go to the gym just to kind of decompress, sit in the sauna, go home, and then school time. It's nutty. My wife's a guidance counselor, so she's running out, works in NASSAU. 3 kids, getting 2 on the bus. Then my son's home. Babysitter comes over, and then it's just work. It's my main career, and then when that's done and I get home, and that's unpredictable, I could say I'm getting home at 3, and the next thing you know, it's 9 o'clock at night. So real estate is great because you really are your own boss. You totally make your own schedule. I've had a lot of awkward conversations with clients that I'm busy and I can't take the call, or I'll hit you back later. The Apple Watch is the best invention ever for me. So you talk like Dr. Evil, Austin Powers into your watch all day, and then it's just business. I'm up late, get enough sleep, and that's it. But it's nutty. It really is. It's 2 full-blown professions that like people can make an awesome living out of. Either one of them. Doing one full-time and one part-time is bananas.
Now, 4 months in, and you already have a team of 10?
We're at 8. It'll be 10 in like the next week.
Wow. Talk about making that happen. Because again, like I said, everything you're doing is super impressive. Like you're here because everything you're doing is super impressive.
It's not because I hit you up 85 times 4 months ago.
Well, you do look like the guy who put the cuffs on me.
When I had 11 followers, and I was like, Kevin, hi, it's me. No, I started the team. There was an agent from Realty Connect who's been doing this for a very long time. I don't know how they feel comfortable with names and stuff, so she's been around a while, and she showed me absolutely everything. She is like the compliance team on the team. Like if I go to post something, before John even gets pissed, she'll send me a message like, no, you can't do that. So and she's good for me because I try to bend the rules a little bit because I kind of watch what you guys do, and I'm like, Kevin did it, I can do it, But no, seriously, she was tremendous in helping me out, and the way I interviewed with a few different companies, and not that I'm anything special by any stretch, but I know what I thought I could bring to the table, and I remember having a conversation with one of my agents now, who is a great teammate, and she was like, oh, well, my grandmother does this. If you want to maybe talk to her, she can get you into Realty Connect. They don't usually take on they usually take on seasoned agents only, or you have to go do like a mentor program like we were talking earlier. So she did that with me, and we knocked out a few quick deals, and she was like, wow, that's great. And then it was not an awkward conversation, but maybe like a month or so later, I sat down with her, and I was like, listen, you have a few agents that work with you, and I don't want to make this not a Team Sean thing. This isn't like a me. Like I want to do like a cool brand, And I thought of Over South when Sayville in that area was first discovered. A little history, Snapple fact for you. It was called Over South. That's like they named the area that was discovered.
Before Sayville?
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's pretty dope. And then it went to Seaville, and then Seaville was taken, and then it went to Sayville. So over where I live, one of the little side streets is Over South Drive, and I walk the kids all the time. My wife be like, oh, that's Over South. It's like you're not pigeonholing yourself to the South Shore because it's Over South. Whatever. It was cool. So I came up, my boy came up with a, shout out to him. He's down in Atlanta. He has an awesome little business that he does and does a lot of cool marketing and stuff. So he created the logo for me, and then that was it. It's on
I like
that.
it.
Yeah,
it's all about branding.
Out the door. I got shirts for you guys. I know you have your own team, but I figured a gym shirt when you're
of course.
in the morning boxing, you could throw it on, sweat it, and throw it out if you want. But shirts for you guys. But yeah, it's a cool little brand. I sat down with her. She was all about it. She said, listen, I do things the old school way, and maybe they're not as productive as they should be. So she was very, very open-minded. I have too much pride. I might have not been that way, so I respect her, and I will always do business with her because of how awesome she's been to me. And then it just took off. And then 4 went to 8, and now 8's going to 10.
That's amazing.
People are kind of seeing the movement, I guess you could say, because it's not just real estate. We all feed off each other. And the group text is nuts. It's just all it's just nonstop. Somebody always has somebody for something. I don't know anything yet. I'm still learning. Somebody's always helping out, and it's growing. It's cool.
4 months in, your biggest listing to date is how much?
My biggest listing to date was 1.3 million. And that I listed it and sold it in like 5 hours in Montauk on last Sunday.
Wow.
Yeah, it was nuts. Yeah, that was a good
5 hours.
5 hours.
That's crazy because
yeah.
people, when they get in this business, they're like, oh, I want to be, anything like over $1 million is considered like luxury.
Yeah.
They're like, I want $1 million listing. And you moved it in 5 days.
Yeah.
Like, that's
No,
nuts.
5 hours.
Oh, 5 hours,
Yeah,
which is even more
listed
impressive.
I think on a Wednesday, Thursday. I like the midweek,
Oh, yeah, I remember I texted you about
the
it.
midweek list, get it just enough buzz, and we didn't do the first showings. My seller was leaving with her grandkids, so she wanted Saturday to herself. So we did private showings Sunday, and driving home from Montauk, we had an accepted offer Sunday afternoon. So it's pretty nuts. Montauk is crazy. I love working out there.
Let me ask you something. So the first month or 2 months or whatever, before you started your team, were you more focused on like foundation-wise, just like learning about the industry, or were you just jumping right into it?
No, I was jumping right into it. I was kind of learning. There's no training wheels. I was really like trying to just drum up a ton of business. Yeah, it was very thirsty, to say the least. Like I was all over. Like, hey, you want to buy something? You want to buy something? Like it was like really bad. Like
I do it all the time.
guy. That
was Kevin.
Jordans or white.
Yeah, seriously, I used to sell CDs. I told you, he looked familiar.
I think I bought Friday after next week. It didn't work, by the way. But,
No refunds.
hurry up and buy. Yeah. So yeah, but I was aggressive, and I was trying to just drum up business. I was reaching out to a lot of builders, and then my boy gave me a chance. We played football with each other for years with the NYPD football team. We both played ball in college, and he's just a stud in this business, and he does great work. And that's the guy I was talking about earlier. He's like, if you find me a house, it's yours. He was just throwing alley-oops to some agent from Keller Williams, and I'm like, yeah, dude, I got you. I'm your friend. Like, we have to not have the weirdness, and here we are. So I found him a house, and he made very good money on that in a few months. I just sold it for him. So that was like your first like leap of faith. Like, okay, it's not easy, but if I just did that, why can't I do that more and more? And then the listings started to come. Like, oh, hey, I work with you on the other job. Your aunt and uncle want to sell. My aunt and uncle, I saw them at a recent wedding. They want to sell their house. Can you do it for them? I've never sold anything. And then that just built and built and built. So
referrals basically is huge, like the core of business.
Huge.
Yeah, referrals are huge.
It's huge. Yeah, it's I sell my buddy's aunt and uncle's house, right? I do right by them. Their kids are in their 30s. They're gonna buy their first house or sell their first house. They're not gonna call a stranger. They're gonna call Sean,
somebody
who
they
just took care of
trust,
the family, and just get right by them. It is all referral. But I love hearing the stories from people who will reach out and be like, mines are inquiring, like, what are you doing? It's your network. Like, if you don't take advantage of your network and be social with the people who break bread with you on a daily basis, how are you going to be successful with the strangers? Like, how does that even be great? Unless you're just a marketing machine, like that's a different animal, and that is a super lucrative business. I don't even know if I'm using the words the right way, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So, but that's a lot of what we do.
That's awesome.
I think that like a lot of like just jumping into it, building up as much as you can, it's smart because you could just like figure it out after you do it, right?
Yeah.
So it's like
yeah. And then I have them to tell me when I screwed something up to fix it, and John calling me and telling me to fix it. So no, but it really is true though. Like, once you get going a little bit, it's a lot easier. And I also feel like too, that's something that somebody told me a while back, like 4 months ago, that when you don't rely on it tremendously, it comes more naturally. And I really do stand by that. I feel like every single thing I have in my life before I started this, and still now, was because of the hard work I put elsewhere, and still do, that I don't stress as much. I've had some really shitty days when those rates jumped up like a month and a half ago, and I'm sure you too.
Yeah.
A lot of horrible phone calls in a short time period. But when you think about it, it'll get done a month later. It might not be what it should be, but it'll get done. And if you're not like counting it before it comes, it's a lot easier to deal with the heartache, right?
Yeah, definitely.
You know what I
and
mean?
rates have come down. Like June, they were pretty up there. But now like coming down a little bit.
Yeah.
Fed rates just moved like 75 basis points. But funny enough, after they raised it, rates actually came down a little bit.
I know.
Which is funny. People don't realize that, but
Yeah.
Call your lender. Ask them. They'll tell you.
Call them. Call Eric too. Yeah, no, dude, you nailed it on the head. It gets up and down, and I mean it is up and down, and I am not anywhere near the scientifical level that you should be with knowing what's what. It's a craft, and you have to, become a black belt in your craft. Otherwise, what's the point? What's the point of going half-ass if there's none. For me, 100%. There's none. I never understood. You start a business, you work, and like, it's like the procrastinators. I don't do well with that. Like my wife yells at me all the time because she'll do something in the house and like she'll forget to like hang something, and I'm like, can we just hang something now? Like, why should the walls? Relax. I'll paint it. I'll do. So and that's why like I think my energy is a little bit different than like the average realtor who just starts. The guys who kill it, like you guys, you're always going to be successful. I feel like because I was so brand new and knew nobody, if it's not 100 miles per hour, it's not going to work.
Yeah.
Makes
sense. I feel like the anxiousness is good because like for me personally, like if I don't do something right now and like I forget about it, I'm like, why did I forget to do this? Like something so small, so I just get everything done. Like if it's something small, just do it right now. Like just get over with.
I text myself a lot. Is that weird?
Text yourself a lot?
I text myself. I saved my number in my phone, and I'll text myself reminders. There's probably a better Apple. I'm 38. I'm not like a millennial, but I'm also not 90. Like there's got to be a better way, but I do a lot of like, is there a reminder thing that you could do, like a calendar?
There's a reminder app, but one thing that I do...
and it comes up twice, so I always have to delete one. It's very bizarre, but if you want to try that, try that.
Something I do that's
text
like
yourself.
similar...
You'll always have a friend.
...is like at the end of every workday, like 2 hours before I leave the office, I go through my phone and see everything that I've done today.
That's good.
And then anytime I miss something, I just know. And I do it 2 hours before because it gives me time.
Yeah.
So it's like if I forgot something, like Kevin hit me up, maybe I was like on another line and I forgot to call him back, right? For example. Like,
I'm very
I'll just
impatient,
know.
by the way.
Oh, he's the most impatient realtor I've ever worked with. But it's good.
We did business together.
I'm like,
drive people
if I'm doing something, it has to be done right now. So I need answers right now.
Kevin will call me and be like, yo, right now. That's it. Like,
I like that.
He doesn't wait.
The same way. You have to be. I mean, I'm sorry. I know you're not. I think impatience there's a bad word for it. They got to come up with something else that makes it like a good trait. But I think it's a good trait.
But I think it always comes to like the controlling aspect of it.
Yes.
Like say for example, like Kevin, like sending, like I have his pre-approval, right? He can't control my side, but you want to be in control because you're the one that's running the show, right?
Yeah.
So like you guys are the realtors, you guys are the ones that are out there like putting all the energy forward. You want to be in control of everything going around.
Have to.
So that's where I think the impatience comes because you don't know what I'm doing on my side. Like you just know like I give you the answers and that's pretty much it. Yeah. That's just my idea of it.
No, you're right. I mean, it's the unknown is more frustrating and makes you even more impatient when you're like, oh, what's going on? What's taking so long? But, those relationships build and grow, and then you start appreciating other crafts. Like the attorneys that I work with, like it's wild. Like the stuff that they have to put up with and getting screamed at and yelled at over, it's a lot. It really
Shout out to the attorneys.
Shout out to the attorneys, yes. Everybody, but especially the attorneys.
Yeah.
But again, learning as you go. It's been a crash course, but even like this today, learn at every minute, constantly learning and just throwing more shit in the toolbox and using it tomorrow. I told him in Okar at the company when we were at the panel, I wasn't joking. I'm like, I take a little bit of you, a little bit of him.
Yeah.
Seriously, it's kudos to you guys because I'm not going to watch somebody and mimic, something that's talentless, right? I mean, if you look at sports, look at everywhere in the world. When you're a little kid, you're not going up there, watching Chuck Knobloch and how he used to throw a ball to first base. No, you're watching how Derek Jeter throws a ball to first base, and nothing against Chuck, but you understand what I'm saying? Like, you want greatness. Used to play second base for the Yankees. Horrible throw to first base, always like errors and.
Yeah, that's what I said. Who's Chuck?
Yeah, exactly. See, you're one step ahead. Yeah. You're better than this, but no, that's it's true. You have to keep learning.
So let me ask you this.
Yeah.
In the past couple of months, when you've been in space, what is like the biggest, like not mistake, but like, actually, yeah, let's go with mistake first. What's the biggest mistake you've made so far?
Biggest mistake I made so far was not trusting my gut instinct when a deal was going to take a shit. Not trusting it. I knew it. I felt it. Good clients, nice people, but there should never be a disconnect with your buyer. And what sucked for me is that I was representing the seller too, and the seller was a friend of a friend, and it hurt to know that I'm going to have that horrible conversation to let them down. But I knew it. I just knew it. It was a solar panel agreement.
Oh, those are the
And
worst.
why are you not signing the DocuSign, one page, the e-sign? Like, that's all it takes. It's a soft credit pull. It doesn't. When we're getting to the finish line and you won't sign that, that tells me that something is off. And I did, and I kind of did. I didn't trust my instinct, and then they switched lenders last minute. And the lender, I trusted him to be like, okay, it's business at the end of the day. I work with the first lender. I don't know you, but he's like, don't worry, I'm going to get it done. And then he ghosted me and sent a declination letter. Yeah. So that, I didn't trust my own instincts.
So since you're a lender, I want to know why that happened. Is because the debt to ratio was too high, or like
with solar panels, there's a lot of different situations that happen. Sometimes, like, I mean, I'm not perfect. I've had solar panel situations in the past where we had a deal that died. That was my first deal ever dying. I had a deal last year. Solar panels, nobody knew about it.
Yeah.
The seller never said anything about it until like we were almost at the finish line. Thankfully, like, so what happens is when you have a solar panel, you have to either take over the payments on the solar panel.
Pay them off, right?
Yeah, or pay them off completely. But sometimes for an FHA buyer, they can't do that.
Yeah.
Like, they're not going to pay off the whole thing.
No.
And if it's a lease agreement, you have to add that on to their monthly income.
Yeah, of course. So to the debt, yep.
If they don't qualify for that, then that's an issue. They either have to bring up more money to the closing table or they have to add a cosigner to the deal. So that could, like, solar panel kills deals all the time. Like, it's horrible.
Please, there's a few in the queue right now, solar panels. I'm not a fan. I get those phone calls all the time. Hey, you still want? No.
No, but some companies are good.
Yeah.
Some companies are trash.
Yeah.
Like,
If they're paid off, it's not an issue.
No.
that's not an issue.
Yeah.
But some companies, like, they won't get you the agreements when you need them. Like, there's just some companies that don't do
I've
that.
dealt with some companies who said, all right, yeah, if the next buyer wants them, fine, it's easy transfer. And you can get out of it, and it's like they completely lie through that contract. It's a whole big mess. It's a big
Here's
mess.
a tip. It's not coming from me, but here's a tip.
Go ahead.
So, if there's a solar panel issue between the seller and the buyer, right? I've never done this, but I've seen that they make their agreements outside of the situation.
Okay.
I've never done this, full disclaimer,
Copy.
but I've seen that.
Copy.
So, that's just something to keep in mind.
Okay.
Not saying I've ever done this. I'm saying this for like the fourth time. I've never done this.
Yeah.
But that's just something to know.
People have. Other people.
I've seen other people do it all the
not
time.
These
That
people.
solves these situations.
Yeah.
But I've never done it. I've never done it.
That deal solved itself. We're closing Thursday. The walkthrough's tomorrow. And they ended up getting like 30 grand more. So everything happens for a reason.
No,
but I was
100%.
representing both sides. I'm not now. Don't care. They are super happy.
But you know what? The tough conversations to have with your clients, it's going to make you a better realtor.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, the conversations that you don't want to have, it's going to help you out in
And
that.
get those done right away.
I did not want to have. You know, like the measuring, can we come back and get like picture, like, and do paint swabs and to find out what we want to, like the negotiating of the furniture and all this stuff. Like I'm saying this that as if people don't do this every day, but for me it was my first crush. It was horrible because I did all that and I thought they were super happy, and what I had an issue with was just the ghosting. Like I did right by you, whatever. It is what it is. Everything happens for a reason. So I'm sure they found something else, or maybe they're home still and they were closing Thursday. So
Well,
yeah.
there you
Worked
go.
out. Worked out.
Well, I won't say early congratulations. I don't want to say anything like that.
Yeah, walkthrough still tomorrow.
But yeah, hoping for the best for you.
Exactly.
Yeah, man.
Thank you.
Look, we could talk to you literally all day.
I
here.
appreciate it, man.
Again, everything that you've been doing is super impressive.
Thank you.
4 months into the business, over 14 million in volume, a team of almost 10, about to be 10.
That's crazy, bro.
Awesome. Thank you,
Yeah,
brother.
that's
Appreciate
insane.
it, man.
$1 million listing already.
Yeah.
Like that's everything you're doing should, like, other agents who are watching should definitely be inspired and motivated by this, because
appreciate that.
there's a lot of people who put a lot of roadblocks for themselves, right? And they don't
in their
overcome
own
that.
heads.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's a
100%. But you're proof that you don't have to be in the business for 20, 30 years. You can really grind it and hustle it out and, get the recognition for it and the money for it. So
Money is pretty good.
money's
Not
really
bad.
good. Money's
Yeah.
really good.
Yeah.
But what are your goals? Last question. What are your
Yeah,
goals
sure.
for yourself, real estate wise, and for the team?
So I think on a personal level, my goal is to, aside from building the brand and making or helping everybody else on the team be successful. I think the busier I am, the busier they are, and all of them are great. I am no better than anybody. I said it at the panel. I'll say it now. I learn from all of them, even the brand new agents. they're only I'm only senior a couple months. So like I'm talking about rookies, like no, like they're the minor leagues, but no, even the new ones, like they find out like stuff, and I'm like, oh, you watched that video that they put out? Great, tell me about it. So that is just growing the brand, but also like for me, I want to just do a lot better with like compartmentalizing the family life and the businesses. I'm learning with that still. Like one of my supervisors told me at my other job that don't ever miss your kid stuff, and I can't do that. And it's happened a few times, and I learned immediately from that like shit can go south real quick anywhere, God forbid, for all of us. So to never do that. So I want to get better a little bit on that side with making sure that the family is happy, and I got to pipe down a little bit and cool it off. But business is good. I hope it stays. I really do. I hope it stays the way it is. And I want to. I like the East End. I like the East End. I want to see
sexy
you
out there.
It's very sexy.
West
out
Hampton,
there.
Montauk.
Yeah, I'm gonna get one
Southampton,
of those
Hamptons.
Borat bathing suits. I'll see you at Cupsog.
I might have to call the cops on you.
My wife will be in the background like this, like, oh, he's wearing it. Oh no, neon blue. Yeah. So
All right, so
one too.
we'll definitely rock the shirts. You could have brought us some PBA cards or something.
No,
man.
well, I got
Like
2 shirts for you guys.
Oh wow.
Yep, XL and large. What you could trade if you want, medium or
I'm
something.
the
like that.
XL. Trust me.
Yeah, this is sorry to talk.
This is
about
awesome.
I think this is nice and soft, very buttery.
Oh,
soft.
this is very soft.
Quality's good.
Very nice.
Yeah. I have some business cards for you guys.
Perfect.
Not.
Shout.
You don't. It's not a get out of jail free card. It's a
Oh,
business card. It is not. No. I
looked it up.
I know you both. For the record, I know you both. We're friends, and it's a novelty. Okay,
Yo, I'm leaving here and I'm doing 90 on the LIE.
No.
I'm just gonna have my hand out the window like.
It's a business. Stop. It's a business card. It's a business card.
Yo,
And
we bring
this
us
is,
gifts and
This
everything
is just
too.
a little something from me.
Oh,
I'm not
damn.
out there yet like you, so this is just a little something from me and Over South. There's a $500 donation to your basketball game.
Oh,
This is
wow.
nice.
Yeah.
For St. Jude's.
Yo,
Yeah,
that's
we're all
amazing.
coming. That's besides the point, but
That's amazing.
Yeah,
I
I'm
really
starting to
appreciate
stack
this.
the chips a little bit, but for now, I wanted to just take care of you guys.
We appreciate it
I
so
see
much.
It,
Yeah,
I
that's
see it, and
amazing.
I'm super. I have 3 kids. You have, very big with charities, and I think that it's just an unbelievable thing. Thing is an understatement. It's an unbelievable event. And next year, however it comes up, if I'm able to sneak in and help out in any way, I'd
Yeah,
love
most
to.
definitely. Yeah,
Yeah, of
definitely.
course. We
We'll make you
appreciate that.
part of it. Yeah,
Yo, you
definitely.
brought us so many gifts. Yo.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting
stay
all
What
of
a
this.
day. Today is a
Whoever
great
sits
day.
in this hot Budweiser hot seat, bring shit for the
Word,
boys.
if you're not bringing gifts, I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
stay home.
We gotta cancel your episode.
Go Portion Road east, not west. Yeah. Thank you.
Sean, drop your Instagrams and Instagram handles where people can reach out.
Yep, Instagram, Sean Sells _ LI. Over South Team, and also oversouthteam.com. Shout out to everybody on the team. Unbelievable. They're a big reason of this success. So, and Realty Connect, I mean, I'm going to say that. That's the mother. So if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be sitting here. And I mean that. So
It's
shout
amazing,
out to all
man.
them. Yep.
We really appreciate all this. November 13th. Do not miss it. 1 p.m.
Yeah, I'm there.
NASSAU COLISEUM, 2-for-1 game. St. Jude's Children's Hospital. I'm going to be dunking on this young man.
He's not going to be dunking on anybody. You're like 5'2".
Muggsy Bogues. Muggsy used to dunk. Muggsy Bogues. Spud Webb used to dunk. I don't know about Muggsy Bogues, but
But he was pretty
Yeah.
short. He was like, what, 5'6", 5'7"?
You're tall, right?
Dunk. I'm 5, with dunks on, 6 feet, 5'11".
Yeah, we're like the same height. Yeah. Yo, he's not dunking on either one of us. It's not happening.
November 11th. I mean, November 12th. Wow, I'm all off now.
November 13th.
13th.
There you go.
13th.
You're going to see Sean there. Stay with us
I'll
when you
be
see him
there.
at the
Yep,
game.
Foam finger, cheering my boys on. I'll be there. Yeah.
Appreciate it. All right. Thank you, Sean. That was the latest
Anytime.
episode of the Real Estate and Chill podcast. We will see you next time.
Over South.
Thank you for tuning in to the Real Estate and Chill podcast with James Chaudhry and Kevin Iglesias. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Also, share this with your friends, your enemies, your mother-in-law. No, seriously, this podcast is so fun.